Hello everyone, we are on round 2 of the Shrimp Fried Rice v LIMOS tournament match here. We are now on Blood Moon. The teams have swapped sides. Team 1, ANS, is now LIMOS. We have Puppy, Xenophon, Hunter, and Snipes. Team 2, Shrimp Fried Rice, we have Noek, Firestorm, Mouse, and the Spy Eye. Both teams starting to deploy here. We see, looks like ANS has not a lot of ships out right now, but they're mostly deployed on A side, which is something you don't really see from this map all that much. Normally it's B side that both teams deploy heavily on. We will see how that affects the outcome of the match here. ANS focusing on DA here, it looks like, as OSP pretty spread out here. Lots of stuff on B side here, but we also have this trio of ships here deploying near A, potentially maybe liners. We will see when we actually finish deployment and get to see the ships. One minute on the timer. ANS does deploy some assets on B side, although they are very much focused on the A side here. Couple ships up high, looking maybe to go for C. OSP also has some ships up high here as well. Ships for the naturals have been deployed down below as well. It's like in Axford here, we get to zoom in on. Standard 450, we got the double turret in the back as well, so potentially a broadside build. Alrighty, let's run through the teams. Hunter has 2 frigates, and that's it. These are lots of missiles in these. Very interesting. These look like S2Hs of various types, so Yub Fleet looking to affect battles on all sides of the map here from long range. Puppy's got a bow tanking 450 Axford with an S2 backpack with SDMs and active decoys here. We have a parallax radar, double radar, whiplash drive. Okay, very pretty standard Axford build here. Couple of railstones. Looks like we have 2 of them here. Triple E-Reg, double small E-Reg. Yep. Some long-range fire support here from Puppy. And we also have a Lockvet with a Pinard. Yep. So this is going to be providing spotting for the rails here. Snipes is running a double Axford build here. It's like a fairly standard double Axford build as well. We have double radar whiplash. Yep. Broadside build. One of them has a parallax, and the other one also has a parallax. So just unified radar configuration here. Hunter's already launching a bunch of S2Hs against the cap points here, looking to deny them. Looks like missiles are going to go into this, are these going to detect this shuttle at E point? Does not look like it. Missiles out on all the points here. Missiles out on B, although there's no one on B for these missiles to really hit yet. C point, likewise, is completely open as these missiles are just going to go off into the void. I do not think the seeker cone is wide enough to detect that tugboat back there. Missiles on A point, I think they got intercepted by AMMs. I saw some AMMs being fired. Missiles out on the E point here. Looks like they're going for something that could be behind the E point here, potentially a carrier, although there's nothing there. Shrimp Fried Rice bringing... Firestorm's got a double 450 liner build here with a Bloodhound tugboat here. Squire and Bridgemaster opting not to bring track correlators in this thing, alright. Mouse has the double Acello here. Auroras, Illuminators, and Raider drives with some soft kill on both of these. Mixed soft kill, so together, though, they should have Omni soft kill capabilities. Yep, I'm seeing some Dazzlers and Radar jamming and Comms jamming on them. Very nice. Noek, looks like they're bringing the count fleet here. We have a MMT with the MLS 2 on the bottom here. We have 2 2 of them, and it looks like a couple torp tugs here too. And the rest of the fleet filled out with gun shuttle cappers, it looks like. One of the cringe cappers dead on the E point, although it does secure it before it goes down. One of them in position to take the C point, although Xenophon's already stepped on with their own cringe capper. Missiles still going out from Hunter around the map as more of these S2s go into this cap ship on B point. Massive swarm of AMMs, though, is able to shoot them down, although this thing is starting to take RPF fire from Xenophon's, bullying, not bullying, what are these? Police frigates, that's what they're called. Xenophon with the cap fleet here. It looks like we have 2 wings of, police frigates here, a beamstone, and 3 cap ships. The cringe capper on C point goes down before it can take the point. A missile salvo from Firestorm, the back of their liners it looks like, is able to deny the point. Massive missile plays so early into the game here. Very interesting. A bunch of Hunter's S2Hs fired, looks like mostly blindly into open space here, trying to anticipate where the spotting assets are. Most of them miss here. Piranha rocket salvo, seduced by chaff, flies off into the void. The missiles lock on to this this cringe capper back here. Chaff too late as this cringe capper does go down, and so it looks like no one's really in position to take the C point here. B does go to OSP here, the ship on the cap point staying alive long enough to take it. A is also in OSP's hands as the other swarm of police frigates is unable to deny the point. Another missile salvo out on this tugboat back here. Looks like they missed again as the seeker cone is not wide enough to detect this this tugboat as it does maneuvers to avoid the missiles. More missiles out. Hunter trying to... Looks like mostly blind fire missiles behind rocks here to try and take out OSP sensor assets. As once again, the seeker cone is not wide enough to detect this tugboat as these missiles just sail off into the void. More missiles out from Hunter on the A point here, doubling down on their efforts to take out these cap ships and sensor assets. Although Noak's smartly moving their assets behind rocks to avoid these missiles. Rocket containers looks like tried to deploy against where the police rigs used to be, although those are not going to hit. Police frigates opening up on the liners, firing RPF into the liners, perhaps not realizing that these are heavy assets and not cap ships. Let's see if Xenophon realizes what they're engaging here and switches ammo types. Although these 450 liners are within... What's the range there? That is 6 kilometers to these frigates here. If these liners get their 450 guns to bear, these frigates are going to go down pretty quick here. A point getting secured by LIMOS here as the missile support, although a lot of them missing, has managed to make the ships denying the A point hide behind rocks to avoid getting hit, opening up Xenophon to just take the point here. Bunch more missiles out from Hunter, really trying to kill this random tugboat here. These missiles do lock on to this this MMT here, although the AMMs do deflect the shot quite well. Hunter still has plenty of missiles on their ships here. Although they do once again whiff an entire salvo as this tugboat moves out of the range of the Seekers here. More missiles out on this Bloodhound tug here as the police frigs move over the C point and start putting RPF fire into it. The missiles are likely going to finish off this port tugboat here. 1 hit, 2 hits, yeah, as the police frigs are in position to just clean up here. Although that being said, they have strayed into the range of these Acellos here, as yeah, they start locking target and putting 450 down range into these frigates. At this range, I do not think they have enough jamming to cover themselves from being locked, yeah. Missiles out into this MMT, which is pushed way far up. The missiles do collide, though. Don't really do a whole lot of damage. They take out the bulk mag. Reactor overload on the reactor here. Yeah, that's a 68% work speed debuff. They will probably have to emergency reactor shutdown here if they want to save this tugboat. They do have the resource to bring things back online. 2 restores on this tugboat. They can bring the mag and the reactor back online. They will be missing the pinpoint, but still should be an effective vessel. The 3 Axfords moving in to engage these Acellos here, as the Acellos still opting to shoot down these frigates here, perhaps trying to get them out of the match before they swap over to the Axfords. The rail fire support from the destroyers coming in here, as the fires start adding up on these Acellos here. More missiles out from Hunter as they completely miss the Acellos once again. Piranha Rocket Strike. A Piranha Rocket Strike neutralizes this this keystone here. That's the drive and the reactor gone. This thing is not going to be able to fire its beam anymore. Where did those rockets come from? Were those torpedoes from the arsenal tug here? I think those were. And I think also Firestorm has some rocket container backpack things. Yep, he does. 450 fire from Firestorm into the police frigates here, as one of them already completely crippled, and the other one perhaps realizing that it should not be here. Although most of these shells overpin, this ship does not have the survivability to stand up to those liners for long. More torpedoes out on this keystone to finish it out, as those will miss completely. What were these Seekers? Act Command Val. What happened there? Ship was tracked. That was a very peculiar miss there. I'm not entirely sure why those missed. More S2s out on the, looks like these are sent into the, at least they were going to be trying to send into the Arsenal tug here to try and support the Keystone, although they mostly miss. These missiles down here, however, do manage to hit on the nose of this MMT, taking out the MLS. Another salvo. Oh, this is an HEKP salvo, looking to loop around behind the map here and hit these liners in the back. Spy Eyes obelisk liners here. Let's see, will OSP... Doesn't look like OSP is going to detect these. Perhaps the Acellos might? More rocket containers out from Firestorm's liners. These are going into the police frigs. This HEKP salvo looking to take out these obelisks, although these obelisks are not bow or stern into the missiles, so the HEKP might just go right through these things if they hit. These are EO Wakes backup. Does these have, does not look like these liners have dazzlers on them. Lots of flak and Pavises, though. Flak and Pavis goes out. One of the missiles hits. The other one's either running out of range or getting shut down. I think they ran out of range. The only one hits a small DC locker, not doing a whole lot of damage. Another salvo of the HEKP goes out into Firestorm's liners here, although if Firestorm keeps moving on the path they are, these missiles are just going to miss completely. Liners are very fast. These things might just be able to avoid the salvo entirely. The Acellos up top continuing to take the engagement with the Axfords. Neither side really doing a whole lot of damage to the other, as the bow tanking Acellos are able to deflect most of the damage, and the radar drives on the Axfords are able to allow them to dodge most of the incoming fire. These HEKP missiles are going to rock PD. Oh, nope, they're not going to rock PD. They're going to run out of range first. Salvo missiles out on the tugboat on the B point here. Looks like Hunter trying to open the path for one of Xenophon's ships to get on the point and resecure it, although with all these liners here, I do not think that they're going to be able to do that. Additional missiles out on this tugboat here, as it looks like it is out of chaff and out of AMMs, but the V's managing to take down one of them, but one of them gets through, and that's took out the magazine. Sun drive on this tugboat is going to mean that this Axford is going to be able to knock out its drives pretty quickly here. Yep, there goes its drives. This Axford should just be able to mop up pretty easily. ANS does try to take the E point here. Hunter trying to support the cap effort with some missiles. These missiles... Oh no, these missiles stage too late as they go somewhere. That was... Why did those stage... Was it a range thing? No idea why those staged, but they did not hit this gun shuttle here protecting the point here, as it looks like it is going to win this gunfight with this sprinter here. Massive fire from Spy Eye here, ensuring that the E point stays in OSP's hands here. Although that being said, 2 more shuttles are approaching the E point here. Missiles managed to finally pick off this tugboat here. More missiles coming in. Looks like trying to take out that shuttle here to allow ANS to take the point. AMM's out. AMM's trying to intercept. It looks like they didn't. And those missiles will find their way home and will kill this this shuttle here. ANS trying to get ships onto the E point, however, it is being watched by these obelisk liners here. More of these HEKP missiles out on, looks like, Firestorm's liners here. Although, once again, the liners are broadside onto the HEKP missiles, so these will probably pass through without doing much damage. Jamming out from the liners, and it looks like Firestorm has a Dazzler somewhere in here. Although the Wake coming in and still landing hits. Although it's not a whole lot of damage for how much those missiles probably cost. The liner's still relatively fine. Pure Act HEKP coming out as a follow-up salvo on the liners here.
The enemy is secure.
Another missile salvo out on the B-point tugboat here. Although this tugboat hasn't moved since it got hit by that last missile strike, these missiles are just going to completely miss. Chaff dropped by the liners. Will it confuse these missiles well enough? Looks like it will, as all of those missiles either get shot down or miss completely. A third salvo of HEKP S2s out on the liners here. No jamming, no Dazzler, although these things do not stage in time, and 2 of them eat flak. 2 of them do hit, one of them getting a relatively okay angle, taking out a rapid DC gunplot. Never mind, that wasn't a whole lot of damage at all.
We are contesting zone common.
Salvo number 4 of the HEKP S2s out against these obelisk liners here, as
Enemy is securing zone common.
looks like ANS is getting relatively annoyed that the E point's being denied so well. C is going into ANS's hands here as they send a one of the police frigs to cap the point, although these Acellos here are already on the point, already taking it down, will probably deny it and also probably will secure it. S2 HEKP strike onto Spy Eye's liners here. These are more of the EO Wake. They do acquire the liner. flying through heavy flak to get there. One of them shot down. 3 of them do hit, taking out 2 of the guns and a rampant cycle cradle. Although this liner does still have 8 restores, we'll be able to get that stuff back online. Liners focusing on finishing out this keystone here, which cut out in the open here, although it was already damaged by previous strikes, so.
Securing zone comment.
D being capped by OSP here as the 450 liners move on to the point here. Nothing to deny that on ANS as their Axfords are on the opposite side of the map. Puppy solo Axford taking a fight with the Acellos here with their rail support. Although these Acellos are going to be able to dive behind cover here and avoid the rails and just focus on the Axford here. This Axford does have double radar, so probably will be able to orbit dodge quite effectively against the incoming 450 fire. About 9-ish kilometer range. More missiles out. Looks like they spotted this tugboat here trying to go under the map, potentially for an 8-point back cap. 2 missiles hit. Ship is still alive with a drive, a reactor, and a CIC. Will still be able to potentially recover and potentially get onto the point here if ANS lets them. Firestorm taking the D point, moving off of it, probably trying to get these Axfords to come closer, probably trying to bait them into a close-range duel here where their radar drives won't be enough to dodge incoming fire. Follow-up strike on this tugboat here, trying to neutralize it and ensure that it doesn't do a back cap. 450 fire also out from the Axfords here to make sure it doesn't get back up. B point completely secured by OSP here as ANS withdraws to the AE side here. Looks like ANS will be able to get the E point here finally after so long. The liners moving off the E point denial to make sure that the B point stays in their hands. Although these liners will ensure that this sprinter probably doesn't make it out of here after capping the point. Hunter beginning to run low on missiles here. Looks like only doesn't have a whole lot of missiles left here. A lot of the pure act HEKP S2s we saw. But apart from that, their anti-light asset missiles are mostly empty here. Snipes' Axford's pushing into the 450 liners here on D point. Although they're facing the wrong direction. They are fully broadside to these liners here as they start taking 450 fire into the side here. They are target locked. That is not what you want to see. The center stack of this first Axford going down incredibly quick here. Top gun almost getting knocked out here. Yeah, that gun is not going to be online for much longer as this Axford takes massive damage by pushing out like that. The other one's starting to return fire into the liners here. Although one of Firestorm's liners is not facing in the right direction at all, as it tries to yaw downward to get the 450s to bear. More missiles out into this tugboat up here as the missiles, I do not think these are going to hit this tugboat. Much too fast for the missiles. Missiles, nope, never mind. The missiles do stage. That Wake Seeker are able to spot the ship. One of them goes into the ship, taking out the reactor, but the other one does miss. We have a close-range duel here between the Axfords and the 450 liners here. One of them already taking some heavy broadside fire as the Citadel mag goes down. Does it have a backup mag anywhere? It does have a backup bulk mag, which means that it will be able to still fire, but it's like electing to focus fire onto the one they hit before, although by now it's already gone bow on. The 450 HE is not doing as much as it did for the first salvo, being absorbed by the reinforced stuff in the nose here. Pure Act HEKP goes down the nose of the first liner here. Hunter getting a successful salvo on this thing, is it? Its front side is completely removed. This liner, easy pickings for the Axfords now. The missile support coming in clutch here. The Obelisk liners, looks like they're moving on to the E-point to retake it here. A second salvo of the HEKP missiles out on the liners. And it looks like Hunter has identified the orientation of these liners here, trying to get the second HEKP salvo to go right down the nose of this liner. Will they stage in time, though? Doesn't look like it is. They staged too late, and AMMs clean them up. Snipes' Axfords recognizing that the first liner is pretty much crippled, focusing fire on the second one here. More HEKP missiles out on the already crippled liner here as Hunter looks to finish the job. The Obelisk liners managed to clean up the sprinter that capped the E-point. It looks like they managed to retake it with a shuttle here. Rail support coming in to support these Axfords in the attempt to retake D-point here. Dagger being resecured, these ships now combat ineffective. The magazines get knocked out on the still functioning liner here as the HEKP salvo misses again. These liners here are completely caught out, just being picked apart by ANS's front line here after taking massive missile hits. The Ocellos look like they're trying to push over the top here to get crossfires into ANS's front line, although they're still pretty nestled up here, not really in position to really support the 450 liners at all. Xenophon's cap fleet completely bled of assets. Whereas ANS still has these small shuttles around the map that they can use to potentially get back caps here. OSB has the point lead by nearly like 200, 300 points here. The Ocellos find the rail keystones. Target lock, that's 450 HE going into them. Keystones looking like they're trying to pivot to stop this this shuttle from going onto the A-point here. As Puppy's forced to stop the engagement onto the liners and try and shoot down this this shuttle. 3-cap means Shrimp Fried Rice wins in 9 minutes on current caps. Yeah. If Shrimp Fried Rice can hold this for like 9 more minutes, this is a victory for him. As one of these keystones is already crippled, no restores, its drive is down. OSP still has plenty of frontline to deal with ANS's remaining Axfords. As both B, C, and E are like completely secured by OSP here. ANS has no assets in the area to really cap any of those points. MMT diving on the D point here, although the Axford on the point is still functional, and it has fire support from the other Axfords, it is going to get shot down here. Missiles do go out, though, into what's left of this police frigate here. These are Act Command Val. Yep, those are going to finish off that poor frigate. This shuttle, surprisingly, is still somehow alive. Up there, finally goes down. The Ocello is still firing at the dead keystone here. They need to swap fire to the Axford or the still living ones. Obelisk liners look like they are moving under the map to push the D point here. This Axford is not going to be enough to fight all three of those liners, considering how healthy they all still are. They've taken very minimal damage. And they have plasma to take out the armor of the Axford. The Axford is spotted. Will these liners swap fire to the Axford? Looks like the plasma turrets... Doesn't look like they're swapping fire just yet. Nope, there goes the plasma turrets. They are swapping fire to this Axford here, which has pushed out into the open here against these liners. The liners already in plasma range. This Axford's probably just going to get caught out here and just torn apart by these liners. If this Axford goes down, D point is just entirely open to OSP here just to retake. Yeah, it's plasma already going in there. Looks like that's already an HEHC salvo into this Axford here. Yeah. Cinder stat goes down. Top turret knocked out, nearly. There it goes. Yeah, this Axford is not going to survive long against those liners. The other two Axfords electing to push the C point here, perhaps realizing that the two Acellos are the weakest link in OSP's front line. Although by pushing up here, they are going to leave the D point completely open for those liners to just take. Hunter here, pretty much completely out of missiles. They do have a couple more salvos of these HEK missiles left. Looks like they're going into these liners. They have a good angle against these. But they run out of range! Oh no, that was tragic. The HEKP missiles were at an incredibly good angle against these liners, but they just ran out of range before they hit. And these liners are going to just tear apart this Axford and get onto the D point and just take it. The Acellos putting up as much of a fight that they can against these Axfords here. Using terrain to make sure that they only engage one at a time. Very nice. These Axfords up top still relatively undamaged. One of them kind of orange, but this is all repairable. Mostly. I don't think that ANS can take the points quick enough to secure the victory here. I think that OSP's gonna win this. Yeah, the liners are just free to move on to the D point here. Another HEKP salvo out from Hunter here. These are going for the Acellos up top. The Acellos, I still believe, have functioning Auroras. Yeah, they should be able to deal with those S2Hs, no problem. Although the Acellos are getting crossfired here by the Axfords. The Axfords very smartly going in two different directions here to force the Acellos to only bow tank to one target. The Axford K killed on D point is these liners. Yeah, these liners are just free to move on to the D point and take it. The missiles do land hits on the Acellos, though. One of them going CIC down. Its Aurora's not firing. The other one manages to defend against the missiles, though. These Acellos probably aren't going to survive up here against these Axfords, but they will hold the point long enough to ensure that OSP gets the win here. Yeah, and especially with these liners moving on D point, I don't think there's anything ANS can do to really flip the script on this. Their assets bled out. Hunter's out of missiles. Xenophon has no cap assets left. All they have left is really scattered Axfords around the map, and they're already, like, pretty beat up. One of them's magazine going down. Looks like they're trying to repair it. As yeah, these Acellos are going to stay alive long enough on the C-cap to make sure that ANS doesn't get it. Looks like the team's recognizing the state of the match here. It looks like they're calling it. As OSP's going to secure the D point here with the liners. Yeah, that's a surrender from the remaining players on ANS. Yeah, with an excellent performance from Shrimp Fried Rice, it takes it to 1-1. And we are on to our third round.